Hey guys, this is Chris from Empire Bricks and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars set review. Today we're having a look at set 75168, Yoda's Jedi Starfighter. It was released this year in 2017. It comes with 262 pieces. It has 2 minifigures and it retails for $24.99 in dollars and $29.99 in euros. So before we dive into this set, you may not recognize the ship as itself, but if you really want to see it in action, I can really recommend you guys to watch Clone Wars Season 6, Episode 11, in which Yoda travels to Dagobah and he uses this ship, and he travels with R2, so it's exactly this ship, and you can see how accurately it resembles that ship from the series. So, having said that, let's dive into the minifigures. It comes with 2, like I said. First of them is Yoda. So, for me, this is a new version of Yoda. I'm not sure if he's in other sets as well, but I'm really happy to have this one. You guys may remember the Clone Wars version of Yoda, which has kind of a rubbery head, and he has this white hair print that kind of tends to let go of the actual head, so it just falls off the paint. This one doesn't have that. It does have a slightly rubbery head. As you can see, I can bend the ears, but it's much harder, and the facial expression and the head is much more as the movie would be than the Clone Wars series. So that's kind of strange because the ship is actually from the Clone Wars series, but it's a really accurate face. I'm really happy with that. And he comes with a green lightsaber, of course, and this metallic lightsaber hilt. He has his robe print on the front, and if we look at the back, he has some more simple robe printing, and you can actually see his hoodie. No secondary face, of course, and he has the shorter version of legs, which can bend, but that's not a problem for getting into the ship, as I will show you in a minute. So that's the first one. Second one is R2-D2. Now this one is nothing new. He is the R2-D2 as we have seen in other sets before. I do really like this version. He's extremely accurate with the white body and the completely colored dome on top. And I have been lucky again, or the printing has gotten better, but I've heard a lot of people complain about the print on the dome being a little bit askew, but mine is perfectly straight, so I'm really happy with that one. This is, I think, my 4th or 5th R2. But still, every astromech droid counts, and I'm really happy to own another one. So, those were the minifigures. Let's go on to the ship. Like I said, it has 262 pieces, which sounds a little bit like a small number of pieces. But if you hold the ship, it feels really sturdy. It's really durable. It's not really flimsy. It feels like more pieces. I think that's the best way to tell you guys. It feels like a 350 piece set. So it might not be that much pieces, but they're probably relatively large on average. Having seen it in the Clone Wars series, this is an almost perfect depiction of that ship. It has the foldable wings, which are closed now, but they can open up like this when you are in flight mode. And it is kind of short and maybe even looks a little bit awkward like this, but just remember that Yoda is quite small as well, so it's not that strange to have a small ship. And actually, just a small fun fact, but if you look at the ship in the episode that I mentioned, so Clone Wars Season 6, Episode 11, you'll actually hear this ship fly away, and it makes almost the exact sound like a TIE fighter. And if you have a look at it and you fold open the wings, then you can actually see that this quite resembles a TIE interceptor in many ways. So this might be a predecessor of the TIE interceptor. So having said all that, going further on the looks, color is great. I think the mix of gray and green works perfectly well. It does have 6 stickers, so there is the stickers on the wings, which are both round. They're quite easy to apply. There are 2 stickers on the sides here with the Republic insignia. They're a bit harder to apply because The booklet tells you to apply them in this position, so when you already assembled the ship. I think it's actually a lot easier if you do it beforehand, so that's a small tip that I can give you guys. And there are 2 stickers on the back resembling partial engines, even though these are supposed to be the engines, which are blue just like the series, so that's good. So 6 stickers, not too bad, and they're pretty easy to apply, so nothing to complain about there. Well, going on to the functionality, just like I showed you before, you can actually open and close the wings, which are quite well attached. They look a little bit loose, but they're attached to this quite simple but very strong mechanism. So it's really cool to play with them. It is a little bit hard to open them up and then put the ship down, because it will over time just, fold the wings down again. So I think closed is the best position for this ship. Then another functionality, of course, are the spring-loaded missiles. They're over here. From the front, they look pretty good. On the back, I think they could have been covered up a little bit better than this. But I can see why they left it open, because if you look closer, then you can see that the engine is actually in the way. So it would have been hard to put another brick over here. But they are easily accessible, so it's pretty easy to shoot with them. That's no problem. And last but not least, of course, is the cockpit. Now, there's this nice printed piece that is made for the cockpit. You can actually open it like this. But as you can see, it's still pretty hard to get a minifig in. So you can actually open the roof of the ship to completely open the cockpit. Now, like I said, Yoda doesn't have long bendable legs, so he actually has to stand in the ship. You can do that by putting his hands in a little bit of an upward position, and you can actually see that there's a small slot for him that you can put him in, and that fits just perfectly. So that's pretty awesome. I think that's a good design. He's easy to get in and out. You can easily open it up. You do have to wiggle a little bit to get him out again, because it's quite new, so he's attached pretty well. It looks kind of strange though, but if you look like this, it actually looks like he's sitting. So that's pretty good. The actual only downside that I found is that when he is in the ship, what do you do with his lightsaber? I could not find any way to easily store his lightsaber in or on the ship. And I think that's kind of a design flaw, because for example, here there's a 1x2 light bluish gray plate. Could have easily been replaced by a 1x1 plate and a modified plate with a clip holder, and just hold it like this, or another solution, something similar. But yeah, would have not been too hard to find a solution for the lightsaber. So that's kind of a bummer. And last, there's a place on the back where you can put R2. Now, he has these 2 grill pieces for his feet, which do not really attach him, but he actually latches on this single stud that's in the middle, so like this. And what actually happens is that that single stud attaches to his bottom, which sounded different than I wanted to, but yeah, his bottom attaches to the ship. So that's how it flies, and that makes a pretty awesome ship. Taking R2 out for a moment again and putting the lightsaber back into the view. So what are my final thoughts on this set? I think it's a pretty reasonably priced set. It does have one design flaw, which is the lightsaber that you can put anywhere. But overall, I think this is a pretty good deal. I think for 30 euros or $25, you're getting a nice ship that looks great. It's a good build. It's an interesting build. It has 2 great minifigures, because it's a pretty cheap way to get Yoda and R2, which are generally in some of the bigger ships. So that's great. I think it even falls into the same value for money category as the New Republic fighter tank, even though this only has 2 minifigs and that has 4. So that has the better value, but still, this is a pretty good set. Only downside is the design flaw for the lightsaber. So guys, that was a review. I really hope you liked it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you at the next video.